Hello and welcome to the $1 Million Message. This is your Fearless Friday message with Callie DeBlando Brigham, calling from beautiful Pensacola Beach, Florida. And I am looking out at beautiful Pensacola Beach. Sadly, like so many other things right now, it's closed, so I can't put my little toes in the sand, but I can still look at the beauty and, anticipate the gratefulness that I will feel once we're able to do that again. I'm sure there are so many things that you have been adding to your list that you are looking forward to experiencing or doing again or incorporating in your life. And I know I've been talking about it a lot lately, but aren't we going to be so much more intentional and have our priorities really refined when we're able to start adding back things? So I wanted to share with you a couple of thoughts today. The first one came from just a Voxer from one of my consultants. And by the way, she was one of the Skin Decorate Cleansing Brush winners. That was so fun. Have you had one in your unit yet? There's a few days left for you to receive one of the 100. What a nice gesture from Mary Kay. But she was just reaching out, and she repeated this phrase 2 or 3 times. I don't even know that she fully realized it. And it just sunk in and soaked into me, and I wanted to share it with you. It's just simple, but I think it's an encouragement. And she said to me, Mary Kay would be so proud. Mary Kay, the woman, Mary Kay, our founder, Mary Kay, our mentor, even though many of us have never even met her, Mary Kay would be so proud. And that was my first tear-up moment of the day when she said that, because I thought, she's so right. She would be so proud of our company. Boy, the big news, right, about how we are answering the call and we're contributing with the hand sanitizers, with what they're offering for us over the course of the next couple of weeks, the watch party and the summit event. She'd be so proud of the nationals who created things like the Facebook Go kit for us and all these digital tools. They are just genius women, how they've done the story time with the Inner Circle Nationals. She'd be so proud of the sales directors who I know are carrying a heavy responsibility of all of the things going on with their unit members, whether it's the prayer requests. I gathered over 100 prayer requests this past week from my own personal unit, whether it's the prayer requests, whether it's the contributing of encouragement and ideas, whether it's just conversations of it's going to be okay, whether it is the financial mantle of their family. She'd be so proud of her directors. She'd be so proud of her consultants that are still servicing their customers with a smile and with being careful about delivery options and how they can still bring a smile to someone's face. She would be so proud. She'd be so proud of the actions that people are taking. And she'd be so proud of how we are women that seek to be positive. We seek to look for silver linings, like you heard this week. We seek to be real, but also choose joy. She'd be so proud of how we are handling circumstances that we certainly didn't ask for and outside of our control. So I just want you to know that today and start my call. Mary Kay would be so proud. I also want you to know something that I wrote in my journal this week, and I wrote, when this is all said and done, because this too shall pass, I want to look back on how I handled this season, and I want to look back, and I don't want to regret things, and I want to be grateful. In other words, this is not always going to be like this, and when it's said and done and I look back at this season, I want to say, I love how and where I invested my time. I love how and where I trusted more than I worried. I love how and where the relationships that were grown. I love how I, how I chose to handle the challenge. And is that perfect? No. But I'm wanting to filter that through each day of when it's said and done and I look back on this day. Will I have regret that maybe I just, I'm not saying that a nap isn't important or getting good rest, but maybe I just shut down and didn't face the world, or maybe I reached out to somebody and I had an eye care call and I spent more time with my kids than I've been able to because we were running and all over the place before this. So I would encourage you to think that thought too. I also want to encourage you to think the thought that we need you. We need you. And I just have a couple of little examples. You might think, who needs me? Nobody needs me right now. Or all I do is, sell skincare and makeup. That's not critical and essential to our world right now. Well, 3 little things happened on Wednesday that I thought, we're needed. You're needed. And the first one was a local chef did a cooking class, especially incorporating kids. And my kids they made Korean beef stir fry with broccoli. And it was just an hour, and it was so much fun. And my son was like, I loved it. Ew, the broccoli. That's a big thumbs up right there. The second was Mo Willems, the children's author and illustrator, goes live every day at 12 Central. And it's Doodles with Mo. You could just Google it and find it. And they just do drawings, and he's silly, and he brings in other illustrators, and the kids can just do and follow along. And the third was the Cincinnati Zoo goes live every day at 2 o'clock with Central with different animals that they're featuring of the day. And I say those things because when this pandemic and crisis started, do you think that the world said, we need chefs, we need children's authors, and we need zookeepers, and they're going to save the world? Right? Like on an airplane when there's an emergency. Is there a doctor or a nurse on board? Well, one would think that those would be the most critical people that are needed right now. And they are, right? Those that are in the government making decisions and those that are medical professionals, they are. But, for a couple of hours on Wednesday, my kids desperately needed a chef, a children's author, and a zookeeper. And those people did not need to invest their time in my kids and other kids too. But they did. And they were a lovely distraction. And they brought smiles and laughs. And they used their strengths to contribute to this world and make a difference. And so I just want you to know, we need you. We need women that'll take a minute and share how to do a smoky eye or a 5-minute face. Women that'll say, this exfoliation is the bomb.com for you right now. Women that will do that. I'm excited on Sunday night. I'm doing a Zoom. I mailed out some samples to some customers and friends, and we're all going to do a Zoom pampering together Sunday night at 8 o'clock. Me too. I need it too. And I was making a list of some of who these women are that we're going to go live for, 30 minutes or so and charcoal mask ourselves and moisture gel mask ourselves. On the list, I have a small business owner. She needs this. I have a friend who lives in a long-time customer, lives in Boston, and she's been isolated in her small apartment with her husband and kids because it's part of the epicenter right now. I have a first responder firefighter on there. I have several stay-at-home moms right now there now. I have an insurance agent who has just been battling for her clients. I have a healthcare worker. I have a school teacher. And so they need me, and the world needs you. And then lastly, I want to encourage you to make sure that you are still staying on a schedule. I know that life has lost its normal rhythm, but for us it's been critical for our kids to do a schedule. And I realized the other morning that even though the kids were doing the schedule, and that was great for them, I had gotten off track with mine. Every morning I like to do a surrender prayer, and I do it when on my way to the gym, when I drive to the gym. And I've been driving to the gym, and I haven't been doing my surrender prayer. So I sat in my living room, oh, my goodness, I need to get back on track with my own schedule. And it might just look different for right now, but that's okay. So I wanted to incorporate 36 most important lists for you today. The first one may be, I don't want to assume that everyone in the nation is like how we are right now. It may be business as usual for you, but you may be so distracted, and I don't mean as real usual, but you may be so distracted by life that you just need to get back to your regular 6 list. You know, I know that in certain parts of the country, people are still meeting one-on-one. And so you may still be able to book. You may still be coaching those personal appointments. You may still be, doing things as usual. I think it's probably rare, but for those of you that need to not be looking at what the rest of the world is doing and do you, that may be a reminder. Or it might be a modified list, which is for most of us. A modified list may look like booking people for virtual events, right? It might be, selling through using CDS and other things like that. But it may also be a modified list for some of you that is making a fresh new booking list. Now is the time that we can dig into some non-income producing activities because we have time to do both. So maybe it's honing up on your coaching skills because up till now it's just been crossing your fingers. Maybe it's making a new prospect list and a new layering chart. And so you might still be doing your income-producing activities in a modified way, but you could incorporate some non-income producing because you do have some extra time. And then lastly, for some of you, I do understand it might be nothing like usual. So it might be business as usual, sort of. It might be a modified list, and it might be nothing like usual. And here's a few things you might want to incorporate. How about every day an email or communication to Mary Kay Corporate, thanking them for the things that they're doing. This is uncharted territory for them too, and I know that they are doing their very, very best. Second might be doing a small video or something similar, FaceTime or video for your customers. Not perfection. It could just be you on your in your bathroom, doing a little tutorial or washing your face at night and showing them proper skincare techniques. What about adding in a voice-to-voice conversation? You all, I call my customers or my consultants on their anniversary, and I belly laughed with one of my consultants that I rarely talk to. It was their 6-year anniversary, and she was telling me about their absolute disaster of a spring break trip. They were going to the Galapagos Islands. They flew to Ecuador, and only to get there, and the day they flew there, Ecuador changed their policy, and they were going to have to be quarantined for 14 days, which of course would be way past their spring break. They spent the next day and a half in the airport in Ecuador and then had to fly home because they were going to close the borders too. So they spent their entire spring break 2 days in the airport, and then when they flew home, they couldn't change their flight back, and they had to drive 11 hours home in a rental car. That was their spring break, but we belly laughed. Voice-to-voice conversations. What about sending your director or national a boxer every day, sharing something positive that happened in your day, Mary Kay or otherwise? What about asking her how you can pray for her? What about exercise every day with an accountability partner? How about encouraging a Mary Kay sister consultant or director every day? Seeing as we can't gather in person, many of us, what about doing something like that? How about spreading joy every day? Do you have a texting group like I do where we just share funny things or happy videos or silly thoughts and spreading joy? How about unplugging for just a few minutes a day, 30 minutes a day, right? Leave that phone in a drawer. What about purging closets or reading good books? So I just wanted to share a few thoughts with you today. I know our messages, we're wanting to be relevant for you and still keep our momentum going, but also just be real. So Mary Kay would be so proud. Work on each day with a filter of, will I be grateful for how I handled today in the future? Know that we need you. We need Mary Kay consultants right now to paint the world pink with joy. And don't forget to stay on your schedule, even if you have to modify it. Well, have a blessed day. Enjoy the watch party. I can't wait to watch with you and stay connected. And I'll be with you next Friday. Bye-bye.